Hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Live from Tokyo. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Hope we're all doing well. There's some busy action already. Immediately starting actually, A330, Canada pushing back from stand. Trying some new stuff out, new banner. So going to try that out. You can just see a BAA 380 on stand there as well. Very nice location we've got here at Tokyo as well. Really nice location. Just wandered across it as I was looking at places to spot, especially places that give us a panoramic view of Tokyo as well. So we've got 2-0 over there, 1-3 here, and then 3-1 over there, and then just in the very background behind the control tower is 0-2. Currently information Foxtrot, so it's departing runway 1320 and arriving 20 and 13 as well. So I do actually need to change what's on the banner because we're information of Foxtrot now at Tokyo. Hope we're all doing well. It's quite quiet, obviously, to start off with, but I'm expecting that it's going to get quite busy. So we're just gonna put this in the banner now. Obviously, with a new ATIS comes a new text, so just put that in there. Not great weather to start off with initially, but I'm expecting that it's gonna get better as we continue. So yeah, right. Information Foxtrot at Tokyo at the moment. Can just see a Canada A320 with the mask on there on stand. British Airways Airbus A380 there, and then you've got we've got an Air Canada Airbus A330 that seems to be taxiing towards runway 20. They're off to Larnaca, so even in this spot we can still get a nice view of the departures on 20, which is always good, as we've got pretty much absolutely every runway covered here, which is really nice. So I can just see the Air Canada and the two Air Canadas, so one pushing back and then the other one taxiing, and it seems to be taxiing to 3-1 actually, so I'm guessing it's the last departure that they'll get out on 3-1 before the switch over of the runways. two inbounds already actually. One Qantas Airbus A380 that's coming from Perth, and then another aircraft that's coming from Perth as well. So a 787 and an Airbus A380, which will be nice to have a look at. It's been cleared for takeoff there, the Air Canada A330, which will be departing on the northerly facing runway with a departure through these mountains. There's the Kai Tak checkerboard there, which you can actually spot on, which is quite cool, especially to see Kai Tak arrivals on the 1-3 approach path. Air Canada Airbus A330 going to Larnaca.
I'm lined up, Bravo 1. You want me to go down one way for now?
Air Canada A330 on the climb out to Larnaca. Nice departure from that 330 there, as it soars through the lovely landscape here at Tokyo. Very nice landscape indeed. So it seems like there's been a little bit of a confusion. I think in the ATIS is departing runway 13, although we've got two aircraft that have one aircraft that's lined up for 3-1, and then one that's just departed 3-1 as well. So I'm guessing that the runway switch is indeed in progress. But I've got a British Airways Airbus A380 that's also pushed in the direction for 3-1, so I'm guessing once they are handed off to tower, that will then be sorted out thereafter. And I think just on the very end of the, at the start of the cargo terminal, is the tail of an aircraft. Can't actually make out what it is, but according to Flight Radar, it seems to be an Airbus A330 of some sort, possibly a cargo A330. So the Air Canada A320 that's just vacated 3-1. Seems to be seems like it's going to be taxiing back down this way for a 1-3. Your NCP. Oh, nice. So you can just see that A330 that we were talking about there. That just seems to be pushing from the cargo apron, just in front of the British Airways Airbus A380 that's holding here on taxiway Alpha. So this is taxiway Alpha here at Tokyo, and then the adjacent taxiway to the left is taxiway Bravo, which we can see the Canada A320 taxiing down as it lined up on 3-1 but then vacated at Bravo 2, and it's now taxiing back down on Bravo to depart runway 13 on the easterly facing runway, so that's this runway here. Or the southeasterly facing. And that A330 is also taxiing to 3-1, which is a bit odd. As obviously in the ATIS it does say 1-3 for departures, but and there's the Canada 320 that's just been cleared for takeoff on runway 13. And we've got an aircraft that's just, well, here we go, lined up for 13. This this American Boeing 787 just on the final approach track for runway 13 here at Tokyo, just having arrived from Perth. You can just see that gear being deployed there. And it seems as if the Canada we were talking about, it's just disappearing behind that bush now, behind the hedge, is holding short, awaiting this Boeing 787 that is inbound from Perth. Seems quite rocky, possibly due to the downdraft that you get from these mountains here.
I am very sorry about that. I just misread it. I'll be directed by 213 from now on. Thank you.
Nice landing from that American Boeing 787. And the Air Canada A320 just lining up behind that traffic. There they are, just behind that hedge as they line up for a full-length departure on runway 13 on their way to Perth. And that second aircraft we were talking about that's coming from Perth, this aircraft here, the Qantas Airbus A380, that is arriving from Perth. Yeah, the flag carrier of Australia, operating the Airbus A380, the King of the Skies, and this Air Canada A320 just getting out before the arriving A380. With a nice rotation from the Air Canada as they depart to Perth, making way in good time for the Qantas A380 landing on runway 20 at Tokyo. You can just see the two King of the Skies there, one operated by the flag carrier of Britain, the second operated by the flag carrier of Australia. You can just see the third tail of what seems to be an A380 there. An Emirates Airbus A380, the flag carrier of the United Arab Emirates. And Qantas Airbus A380 is just coming from Perth, vacating runway 20 here at Tokyo. Not a lot of action on the stands, so on the apron here at Tokyo, but quite a lot of arrival aircraft that are meant to be coming in. In fact, there's seems to be an Emirates Boeing 777 that's just established on the ILS for runway 20. There it is. Emirates Boeing 777 Sky Cargo coming from Larnaca. As it makes minor corrections to align for runway 20 here at Tokyo. And there's the gears deploying now. Just see the landing lights. And there's actually a Bird Island in the distance. An island that came in the new update. I think you can just make out what seems to be the hangars there at Bird Island. But it's not used very much. I don't think the frequency is used very much either. Bird Tower, I believe it's 118.3 or something like that. But it does provide it provides anyone on the island with a nice view of all the aircraft that arrive on 20, as they do indeed fly directly overhead, which does make it quite cool. It might be nice to do some spotting on that island as well, should we get more arrivals on 20. But here's the Emirates Boeing 777 Sky Cargo we were talking about, just seeming to be pitching down ever so slightly, just disappearing behind this tree here, but now reappearing in from Larnaca onto runway 20 here at Haneda. But a firm but a good touchdown. I think that's the definition of a good touchdown. But hold on, is it going around? No, it seems to be. It seems to be vacating off the runway in no time. Actually, very very speedy vacate from that 777. It seemed like quite a delayed. Quite a late landing that, but it's on the ground and it's obviously vacated runway 20 here, and I can just see the sign for that cargo apron that's just behind this terminal here at Tokyo. Only one terminal, but quite a few stands. I think 17 stands overall on this terminal, and then you've got the cargo terminal, which is just past this terminal. That seems to be the tail of a Delta aircraft. I'm not exactly sure what aircraft it is, but possibly getting ready for departure as well. And just look at that, that is spectacular. That got the Emirates, a second Emirates 777 Sky Cargo and a Qantas SA380 behind. And looks like we're getting a few more arrivals into Tokyo as well. Lufthansa A350 that's going to be coming in from Rockford, where we were actually streaming earlier on, where there was a lot of chaos, or a lot of chaos really. I think we had 5 emergencies that we managed to get in the space of an hour and 45 minutes, which is spectacular. But there's the Qantas A380 just disappearing behind the terminal, but the tail still prevailing after arriving on runway 20. And all aircraft now getting redirected to runway 13 here at Tokyo after the runway change. Emirates Boeing 777 Sky Cargo taxiing directly towards us on their way to Rockford, and then the British flag carrier, the British Airways SA380, that's on their way to Perth, just turned around as well. But a lot of well, on the stream at Rockford, a lot of 07 action. It's been 07s for the past few days, so good to switch it up for a change. There's not a lot of spotting places that are ideal for 07s at Rockford.
Well, Potato, let's fly for the Yankee with reaching Bravo 1 3.
Bus A330 on the rollout for runway 13.
1 3 life weight, and let's fly for the Yankee.
There's the Emirates 5 Kilo Yankee just checking in, that Sky Cargo. As the A330 just rotates out of runway 13. As it departs to Perth. And I think as we say that, the rain has just started. But there's the Emirates 777 Sky Cargo that's just lined up on runway 13, ready for their departure to Rockford, where we were indeed streaming earlier on. And following behind is this British Airways A380, taxiing on Bravo.
1 3 clear takeoff, and let's fly for the Yankee.
And there's that takeoff clearance for this Emirates Boeing 777 rolling down the runway now, thrust applied to Tokyo. Sorry, to Rockford. Not great weather at all, it's just rolling quite quickly actually. With a beautiful rotation from that Emirates Boeing 777 operated by Emirates Sky Cargo, just climbing into the Japanese skyline as it makes a right hand turn to direct Rockford, with the first aircraft that departed the Airbus A330 making a left hand turn. And we are then joined by a Delta Airbus A350 that's taxiing on Alpha. They are following the British Airways A380. So the British Airways A380 is on its way to Perth, and then this Delta A350 is on its way to Larnaca. And I think what's crazy is the aircraft that we've seen have disappeared behind this hedge, but that 380 still prevails. I mean, it just shows the sheer size of the aircraft. I mean, not even half of the aircraft disappeared under that hedge. It's really a large aircraft. Chances are that this Delta A350 is going to disappear, as you'll see. I'm calling it very likely to disappear. As you can see, it's just slightly disappearing, whereas the 380 still prevailed, and it's lined up, ready to depart, strobes on its way to Perth. Coming back after you landed at Perth, cool. Yeah, there is a lot of traffic coming in now, which is really good. There's the BA A380 that's just been given its takeoff clearance as it rolls down the runway, thrust applied, on its way to Perth in Australia. That windsock seems to be showing quite a strong crosswind for 1-3 here. So it seems like some strong wind has rolled in. Same with the rain that's rolled in as well, with a Delta Airbus A350 just lining up behind that British Airways A380 that's just departed here on their way to Perth, with this aircraft then on its way to Larnaca. And we've got a Lufthansa A350 that seems to be, well, seems to have just established on the ILS for for 20, and there we are. There's the Lufthansa Airbus A350 coming in from Greater Rockford. As they get given their landing clearance, and there's those gears coming down now. And it seems that this A350 is waiting for the Lufthansa A350 that's landing on 20, as this one then I'm guessing is going to depart after the arrival of this Lufthansa 350. It'd be nice to see the 100-year anniversary livery get added into the game. I think it would be really cool. I really want to spot it in real life as well, because it seems like a really nice livery. But for now, this Lufthansa livery will have to suffice. But I mean, it's still a nice livery actually. With a beautiful, beautiful touchdown from that Lufthansa 350. And as soon as that's touchdown, you've got this 350 that's applied thrust, departing 1-3. Quite a windy takeoff that. Seemed like it was veering to the right. And there's the Lufthansa A350 that's just landed. Vacating right off of runway 20.
The section 24, can you more aircraft give me know your contact?
Oh, I handed them off to you. I thought with the contact you did not.
It was sat at night.
That's weird because I thought with the contact you. But 2243 departure.
Departure.
Korean 45 India on the Kaisak 13.
Center 45 India, Haneda Tower, winds calm, runway 13 going.
And
Get on 13, but
we've got what seems to be a, where is it? Just on the approach for 13 here. What seems to be a Korean Air Boeing 73, and it's on a Kaitak actually. So it should be somewhere around here. I'm sure we'll see it behind this hill. Yeah, just coming in shortly as it makes its final turn. Korean Air Boeing 737 coming in from Rockford. Not exactly sure where it is. I think it's just making its final turn now. Just passing the Haneda beach, which is just on the other side of this peaked mountain here. I think I can just hear it now. Ah, and there it is. Korean Air 45 India coming in from Rockford, Boeing 737. As it makes the famous Kaitak turn for runway 13. Have to get established quite early as there's not really a lot of room for failure on this approach really. Very nice corrections there by pilot flying. as it makes a very smooth touchdown on runway 13. Korean Air Boeing 737 in from Rockford with a direct headwind.
Korean 45 India, did they get a donut there?
45 India, for your effort, I'm going to give you, you're still going to get donuts. 45 India.
I think they do deserve donuts actually. Very nice landing, very nice.
Be straight ahead after Alpha 7 November, moderate ground, active at 96. Turn right on Bravo 60. And Bravo 6. And then, what we do is closer to Alpha 6 moderate ground point. Cabaret, I believe they'll have your donuts.
And a Lufthansa Airbus A380 that's pushing back from stand. Quite a bit of Lufthansa action here at Tokyo. Lufthansa 802 pushing back from stand on their way to Perth.
I don't want you to go over my run for your departures or my run for your approach or my 20 approach.
Gotta pat that. Really nice photo that. But you can just see the pilots in the flight deck of the A380 there, as the small 737 just waits for their taxi clearance.
Charlie Golf, term sir, practice at the moment for years, you can follow
The 737 just taxiing behind this this A380 that's just pulled out, ready for their departure. Just been pushed off stand, ready for their departure to Perth. Very nice having two taxiways adjacent to each other. You can have multiple aircraft then utilising both taxiways, so obviously the first being Alpha and then the second taxiway being Bravo. Probably why Haneda's very, very efficient airport, very efficient indeed. But interesting tree that seems to be well, that we seem to have plotted ourselves by. And we happen to have a British Airways Concorde that's also going to be coming in quite shortly, I assume, from Rockford. Speedbird Concorde 9, that's probably going to be turning around this hedge very shortly. I don't actually know whether they're going to get this Lufthansa A380 out before, or whether that Concorde's going to turn in. But here we've got a general aviation aircraft that seems to be flying over the airfield at quite a low altitude. They now seem to be climbing, as the tower controllers ask them to essentially get out of the approach and departure path in the nicest way possible. Don't get a lot of general aviation aircraft here, but it's nice when you do. It is nice to get some general aviation aircraft once in a while. And Lufthansa A380 that's lining up on runway 13 as they depart to Perth. There's the thrust being set. Lufthansa A350 departing, Lufthansa A380 departing to Perth. With a nice rotation, especially due to the crosswind. Nice rotation from pilot flying. I think a screenshot's very necessary here. King of the Skies, operated by Lufthansa, with a very strong crosswind for 13 here. I assume it's also a crosswind for 20 as well, actually.
Honda ATR2, turn left heading 100, departure. Yeah.
This one's correcting 110 and 1DC base 13.
And the British Airways Concorde that we were talking about just seems to have turned in for the approach. And there they are.
09, Unit Airlines 2018, caution, wind shear, only 13 for
Speedbird Concorde 9 coming in from Rockford on the final approach for 13 with the nose droop and the delta wings. Very iconic aircraft, the Concorde indeed. Just passing the checkerboard. With a firm smooth touchdown from that British Airways Concorde. And in the distance, you can just see what seems to be that British Airways A380 that departed 13 here.
We're not turn right on Bravo 7 November, and Hospital Alpha 7 November.
But I think they're actually on final for a 1-5 at Perth. I think Perth must be that close.
09, Hospital Alpha 7 November, in moderate ground point.
But that rain did stop quite quickly, which is good. It's cleared up. Although I think the winds are still quite strong, as that windsock does say. But on the stand there, the red tail of an aircraft. Not exactly sure what aircraft it is, but just seems to be on stand for the passenger terminal. And you can just see through the windows there. It seems to be a Qantas A380. But that's a thing I really do like about Tokyo. The amount of windows that's in the airport does give a lot of sunlight, natural sunlight. But I mean, that's the thing about Tokyo. The airport is just incredible. I mean, the 2 taxiways for efficiency. I mean, the amount of runways that they've got. So they've got this one here, and then that second one there. It's incredible, really. The amount of runways that, well, the amount of different directions that you can land in. And then, I mean, having a runway as a bridge is pretty cool as well. So yeah, as you can just see, the bridge that we were talking about there. That's runway 02 that's actually built on stilts, and so you can't have aircraft landing on that runway because if you land, chances are the amount of pressure from the aircraft and the amount of stress that it will have on that side of the runway will it won't have a very good outcome for the aircraft and for the runway, because I mean, don't get me wrong. The infrastructure is strong, but when you've got the likes of an Airbus A380 landing on that runway, and say you've got an A380 landing on that runway every day, every, I don't know, 2 hours, 3 hours, over time, the pillars are gonna deteriorate quite drastically, and we don't want a runway to essentially perish into the ocean. But here's the British Airways Concorde that just landed. Now taxiing on taxiway Alpha. as it taxis to the passenger terminal. And we happen to have a few more inbounds, likely from Rockford. And the neighbouring airports as well. But there seems to be quite a bit going on at Perth, which you can just make out in the distance. There's the landscape and the shoreline of Perth, quite prominent actually. So the runway, well, the airport is just somewhere. You can just see some wind turbines, but the runway is somewhere there. And the British Airways Concorde just taxiing onto stand now. An individual that's just appeared on stream directly at the camera. All right, mate. Hello. Hello. But yeah, really nice airport, Tokyo. Although it's quite quiet, the amount of traffic that you do get is, well, when you do get the amount of traffic that you get, it's quite good, isn't it? You know, it means you can capture all of these nice shots from aircraft landing on 20, aircraft landing on 13 here, 31 the opposite direction. It's really nice indeed. You're in the Korean 737. You're very welcome for the donut. And you've got these stands here, stand 16 and 17, that are quite out the way of the airport. Yeah, they're just around the corner. So obviously you've got the main ones here. So that's the likes of 11, 12, 13, 14, I believe. And then you've got some on the other side, and then some here. It would be nice to see some aircraft that possibly depart or arrive onto this stand. Be quite nice. Stand 16 and 17. And we've got another arrival actually from Perth. It's another A330 cargo aircraft from Perth, just coming into Tokyo shortly. I'm guessing they'll be set up for runway 13.
Attention tower, I think I'm gonna hop off the line. I'm not someone else wants to take over the ground.
Will you be streaming? I will be streaming tomorrow. I'm going to try and fluctuate the airports that I stream at. Obviously, I've streamed at Larnaca. Larnaca is a really nice airport to stream at. I've streamed at Rockford. I do commonly do quite a few streams at Rockford. And then I've streamed at Perth as well. So I've streamed at the majority of the major airports. I think Isidorani may be quite a nice one to stream at as well. And then obviously when the Keflavik update comes out, that will be a really, really nice airport to get some streams in at as well. But we've got 2 arrivals from Rockford that are just in the air now, making their way. And then 1 arrival from, well, we've actually got 4 arrivals. So we've got 3 from Rockford and then 1 that's coming from Perth. So it would be nice to spot them on this runway here. So that runway being 13. Can't wait for Keflavik is going to be really nice when it comes out. Very nice airport. The amount of detail that they're putting into it seems to be a very positive thing, and I'm very much looking forward to it. Not exactly sure what that is there up on that hill. Seems to be possibly an antenna for something, possibly an NDB or something like that. Maybe a VOR. Something of the sort. And speaking of that, we've got some company here on stand 17. An Antonov that's just made an appearance here. You can just make out some of it, but obviously the rest of it being hidden behind this hill. I say this hill, the amount of hills that there are on the island is quite impressive, really. There are quite a few, and it'll be quite scary to experience an earthquake here, especially as, you know, there are so many mountains. A lot of people probably live in the mountains, and I think it would be quite a scary experience and scary atmosphere as well to deal with an earthquake. But hopefully whilst we're streaming here, nothing of the sort happens. It's been quite chilled today. No emergencies, although I don't want to jinx it. No emergencies yet, because I was saying that on the stream earlier on, no emergencies, and then we had an influx of emergencies. I think we got up to 5, which is absolutely insane. The odd thing is, all of them were similar emergencies. So landing gears, engine failures, and stuff like that.
Nav 2593, Tokyo Tower. Hello. Here's physical approach here.
It's going to be like Perth in 2020.
Upon departure, flight heading 100. I'll maintain 8,000. Expect 4,000. 10 half departure. Departure frequency 13253. Start 7210.
For the purpose of vectors, initial will be 1000, climb 020, and 040, and
You're doing Kaitake approach into 1-3, yeah, nice.
Squawk 7110, Alpha number 2593.
I can just hear the Antonov receiving their clearance.
Antonov, 2593, back quick, and I shoot this helicopter out of my house.
Ooh, okay. Tower control saying there's a helicopter outside my house. Okay. The things you get on ATC24, eh? But I should be streaming tomorrow as well. Yeah, depending on the
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, there's a helicopter outside my house.
depending on the demand, we'll might have a look at streaming Islarani or something like that. You're the Antonov. Ah, nice. And we've just got what seems to be a Ryanair Boeing 737 coming in from Rockford. That Antonov, with the propellers now moving, seems to be pushing back off of stand 17. And BA, what seems to be a 777, that's just yet again made an appearance on stand there. Well, at A350 even.
Runway 1 taxi straight ahead of Bravo 1.
Taxi straight ahead 13, hold Bravo 13, Alpha number 2593.
And so you want 13 tower, traffic volume position, volume 13, good on.
And an arrival that's very swift arrival actually.
RNG Tower, this is Runner 76
Kaitak on 1-3 is this Airbus A330. Just the A330 that came in from Perth.
What tower are you, sorry? What tower are you, sorry?
That's so professional.
You said Rockford Tower.
I did? I didn't even say that.
It's not. 76 Yankees are no Kaisak.
Runner 76 Yankee, Haneda Tower, winds are 355 at 11, runway 13, good on. And 3013, turn right on.
There seems to be a
right on Robertson November at the
fighter jet that's cutting through the air there.
November, monitor the ground, point C.
Quite cool. That seems to be, well, that Ryanair. Ah, here it is. Fully established on the Kaitak for 1-3. That's making its way, well, it's making its way in from Rockford, making the final right hand turn of the Kaitak approach.
Number 2593, hold clear runway 1.
Full short runway 13, Alpha number 2593.
Some grave corrections there. But ooh,
Is a pilot on something now?
onto the tarmac in well, the only way I can explain it is the Ryanair way, I suppose. But it's Antonov just holding for that Ryanair that's come in. Seems to be
Stop talking.
lining up now.
2593, runway 13, line of point.
Okay, sorry.
Runway 13, line up and away, Alpha number 2593.
Although I said that
Ryanair 76
there was a fighter jet coming in.
Bravo 6.
Well, I said that there was a fighter jet cutting through the air. It seems that it's making an approach into Tokyo now. Not exactly sure.
6 South Sticks, hold short with what, sorry?
Not exactly sure what it's doing, whether it's landing or performing a low pass or something like that. But it's
Tower US Air Force 001 GTU 010 requesting low flyby 13.
Yeah, there we go. Low flyover of 1-3.
Now 2593, 1113 should take off to the left.
And then 1-3, push takeoff, Alpha number 2593.
This Air Force continue doing orbits over the approach course out for you.
Here's the Antonov.
Approach course.
AN 225 departing to Perth.
Where are you live? I cannot hear live on YouTube.
Gives Air Force 001 or approve its request.
Yes, F 001. Could you repeat?
Stand by. Antonov 2593, turn left heading 100, departure. Good day.
100, contact departure, see.
Yes, Air Force 001, runway 13 cleared, see flow, fly by. Do you have to do it above 1, correction, do it at 2,000.
Can I do that 1000 instead?
Sure.
With that, could you show this on stream? You're on standby on stream. Just asking.
He's busy over. I think you gotta go grab the look up and just.
Okay, and we're back. Yeah, I think there's an aircraft, well, the fighter jet that was planning on doing a low flyover. You can just hear it coming in now, and there it is. Just doing a low flyover of runway 13 here at Tokyo. Very fast indeed, very fast. As it reaches supersonic. Very rare occurrence here, I assume. Don't usually get that. That's very cool indeed. US Air Force.
Now, 1, 3, 2, 3.
And Speedbird A350 that's just taxiing
Showing me on stream.
to runway. You're very welcome. But British Airways Airbus A350 that's taxiing to runway 13 here at Tokyo. They are getting ready for their departure to Rockford. I need to see where I will be tomorrow, but I think I may have a look at Isla Irani. I think we'll probably do Rockford as well, as that's where all of the commotion is, Rockford usually. So probably Rockford and Isla Irani tomorrow. Maybe around this time. British Airways Airbus A350 just been given their clearance for takeoff, departing runway 13 here at Tokyo. Applying full thrust now. Rolling down runway 13.
This is Rudder. Can we change the departing and arrival runways to 2031?
Well, think about it. Okay. Actually, not right now. Get more arrival. Let's get one more arrival on 13, and then we'll do 31.
Alright, appreciate it. Thank you.
And they seem to have frozen in the air, actually. Not exactly sure why they've... Oh, they've gone. just frozen in the air.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're frozen on my screen.
Oh, I've just disconnected functional.
Oh.
Yeah.
It seems like everyone.
Yeah.
Have you guys disconnected as well? But it seems I've disconnected from the server. I'm not sure if that's the same with everyone else. So I tell you what, we'll be on standby for the time being whilst we try and sort this out. Right, and we are back up. Not exactly sure what happened there. Seems to be an issue with the ATC24 servers, but we're back up, and I think it's just a waiting game now. See if we get any more arrivals or departures in. I fear that these things are quite common now with servers like these. You know, things happen. But we're back. Same position we were in previously. After just a short stop in the stream.
But
Yeah, welcome back, welcome back. Typical, really. Yeah. Game crashed, but we're all back now, which is good.
Birthday Delta Sierra Heavy.
Speed Delta Sierra.
I'm looking to pick up Falcon's joke for this fault.
Yo, is your 24 scope acting weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like glitching for me.
That's a good question.
Are we changing the
Who do you
runway
think has the best card ticker there?
I don't really want to.
Yours was quite nice.
It's
The
kind of hard to. I mean, I guess.
2E. Were you in the 2E 737, I believe?
It's kind of hard.
Or Korean Air Boeing 737? I think that was a really nice one. I don't think the Ryanair's was the best. It was a bit of an interesting approach, really. Overcorrected quite a bit, but we've not had too many arrivals, or too many Kaitak arrivals. I think the Concorde's one was quite nice as well. But yeah, that Korean Air 737s was probably the best that we've had so far. You were the Korean, yeah, so it was probably yours that's the nicest so far.
Birthday Delta Sierra Heavy. Do you have my clearance?
The Ryanair's was very. I do agree. It was very stereotypically Ryanair. Yeah.
Tokyo clearance. Good evening. You're clear to the rocket airport. Radar vectors misspelled. Upon departure, fly heading of 160. 3000, 66,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 132.3. Squawk 1137.
Roger, clear to Rockford as filed via radar vectors. Departure fly heading 160, climb 030, expected 060, 10 minutes after departure.
Was me. Oh, what the Concorde was you?
Frequency is 132.3.
Delta Sierra back.
Be ready, that's very heavy. I'm ready for the pushback.
Delta pressure priority take runway 13.
13. I'm ready for pushback.
I told you you're clear to push here.
Roger.
And just stand by for a moment, as there seems to be two servers actually. So it seems to be an issue. Two servers, and I'm guessing that's why we can't see the BAA 350 that's requesting their clearance, and it's being pushed back. I'm not exactly sure, so if you just stand by for a moment whilst I go and have a look at that.
vectors if there is no data.
Okay, so it seems that the issue is there are two servers. So the speedbird that we can hear speaking on frequency is the speedbird that we can hear speaking on frequencies in the second server, whilst we're in the first server. So it's a bit of an interesting one here. We've been streaming for an hour and 15 at the moment. If this doesn't get sorted out, chances are we're probably going to call it a night and come off for the evening. But hopefully they do manage to sort it out quite swiftly. But if they don't, we'd probably have to hop off, as there's not really a lot to stream. But we've had quite some action. It's not been terrible, but we've not had too many aircraft. But yeah, it's been quite an interesting stream. I think we've had quite a nice few arrivals and departures. Obviously getting that Kaitak in as well. The few Kaitaks that we got was quite nice. But I'm just getting word that the servers might be sorted out. Not exactly sure yet. I'm just praying that they manage to get sorted out. I think they've managed to sort it out now, so we are in the correct server, which is good. So we don't need to... I don't think we are actually in the correct server. So obviously that's an issue. We'll sort it out, we'll have a look at it. But at worst case scenario, we will just pause the stream again shortly and head back into the separate server. I always like to go. Yeah, the Kaitak is really nice. It's nice seeing all of the arrivals. I think we might actually have a look on that checkerboard actually, because the checkerboard seems like quite a decent place to spot. Okay, yeah, we can start to see aircraft loading in now, so I think we're in the correct server, which is good. That then means we don't have to pause the stream again. So that's a positive. The checkerboard has a fence and is actually built. Yeah, so it does have a fence, but however... Oh, okay, we've just had another server shut down. But yeah, the checkerboard does have a fence, and yeah, it is built for spotting. However, it does mean that you can't actually see aircraft landing. You can't see their touchdown. So you can see the approach, but you can't see the landing. And I think we'll stay put here because it means that you can see more operations around the whole airport, whereas with the checkerboard it's just for 1-3. So I think even if we do get a runway change, we can still stay in the same position. So I think what we'll do for now is we will stay put. I'll whack the standby screen on again. Apologies, I apologise profusely. But obviously issue with the servers tonight means that we'll have to keep rejoining and stuff like that. But it's not terrible, so I'll just whack the standby screen on again. We'll get back into the server, and we'll position ourselves back in the same position.
And advise position when able.
Right, and we're back up yet again, same position, just in a new server. They've managed to sort it out, which is good. I'm gonna head out for the night. Right, let's have a nice one. Thank you for joining. But yeah, we are actually on stand now. Well, not on stand, sorry. We're in the same position that we were in, which is good. And the server's managed to sort itself out, which is also good. And as we've joined, we've actually been joined by quite a few aircraft. We've got what seems to be a 727 there. We've got a Cessna 402 Caravan that's on one of those stands there, and then we've got, I want to say, a United Boeing 787 as well, which is quite cool. So it seems like the server restart did quite a good thing for us.
Aircraft from Asia over can now resume normal operations. Radar services are back to normal. Tokyo Tower is now back, and all services are now back in effect. TNX 1016, and nothing else in here.
And there's the tower controller just reporting on the issue that we had, but we're all sorted out now, which is good, and we can get back to normal operation. But yeah, that server restart is incredible what it's done. I'm just counting on the radar now. We seem to have 1, 2, 3, 4. We seem to have 5 arrivals inbound from Rockford, which is brilliant. And I'm guessing they're all going to be whacked onto the Kaitax, so we'll get some really good action there. That's really good. There's some more action here. United Boeing 787 pushing back off stand. They are getting ready for a departure to Rockford. So a United Boeing 787. And ground's actually online, so all of these aircraft are likely to be with ground before they taxi to one of the holding points that we are very closely to, so that's Bravo 12 or Bravo 13 here at Tokyo. And then they'll make their initial contact with Tokyo Tower, which is the frequency that we are currently tuned into, where we've just had some news from the controller that their radars are back to normal after the radar issue that we've had, which resulted in some aircraft being displayed in the wrong positions, and so all aircraft were indeed instructed to be very cautious and act with due care. But United Boeing 777 on stand.
Would you mind taking over 7?
I would like to stay on tower for now. Despite having a feel like if I just take shots, I don't know. I will stay on tower for now.
Alright, peace out.
Yeah.
And I can just see the tail of what seems to be a Boeing 727 that's departing to Perth. Likely be making their initial contact with. There we go.
Quebec 42 X-ray tower, good afternoon, wind 255.15, only 13 for takeoff.
Just take off for a 1.
And there's the 727 being cleared for departure on runway 13 for their departure to Perth.
42 X-ray, one able upon departure, I've had aircraft part of the past that I've done very secure on departure. Can you let me know if you gave my on departure?
Can you repeat that, please?
If you, upon departure, can you let me know if you get once you're after the lift off? I've done aircraft in the past, so just for the
Wilco, Quebec Airport, okay.
The tower controller just saying that some aircraft have reported wind shear on takeoff, so we'll see what this 727 has to say.
Order 2 X-ray, from left heading 100 departure, good day.
This is departure, and yes, we got one shear, expect air protection.
26 corrected.
And there's the 727 that just departed, saying that they reported some wind shear on takeoff. So it seems that the winds are having quite the impact on departures and arrivals into Tokyo. So is that possibly indicating a runway change or reduced operations here? I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see what's soon to come.
Attention aircraft, exercise caution, aircraft reported 12, not lost upon departure. Exercise caution and approach.
And the two United aircraft just the sole aircraft here at Tokyo. So the 777 just pushing back off stand with the 78 just taxiing behind. The 78 taxiing in front. And it seems that
Good aircraft in approximately 5 minutes there will be a runway change. Runway 31 will be in use.
okay, so it seems like there is indeed a runway change. So they're going to be using 31. And I thought so. I thought that would probably happen, but the positive is we can probably stay in this position, although I've been having a look and there do seem to be quite a few different positions in which we can spot and have a look at, where we can get some good arrivals on 1-3 as well. Sorry, 3-1. So there's United 777 that seems to be taxiing, coming back around this way, so taxiing towards 3-1 still. So 2 Uniteds, 1 777 and 178, the first departing to Rockford and the latter also departing to Rockford. And this is a very new route for the United 78s. I think the 777s have been on this route quite commonly, so it's also not every day where you see the two routes departing at similar times. It's likely that one of them is either delayed or one of them's quite early. It'll be interesting to see which aircraft gets to Rockford first, actually. You can just see the tail of the first United 787 and the fuselage and the tail of the second 777 just waiting.
Yeah, 24 heavy. Yeah, 24 heavy, I need a tap.
G9024 heavy, go ahead.
Canada Tower with 155 at 16. Turn right heading 160. Runway 13 push takeoff.
Wings out. Acknowledge. Clear for takeoff. Runway 13.
So there's the first United 787 lining up. Runway 13.
Were you calling us?
2354 from route, sir.
Alright, runway 13, line up away, 2354.
And the second United, so the 777 that's going to be lining up behind the company 78. So the company 78 departing now, en route to Rockford. With a nice rotation from that United 78.
United 24, turn right heading 160. Then contact departure. Good day.
Right heading 160, contacting departure.
And the second 777, or the second United, the 777, lined up on runway 13, ready for departure, likely the last departure that we'll see out of runway 13 before the runway switch. United 777, United 2354, en route to Rockford.
United 2354, runway heading runway 13 takeoff.
Alright, fine, I'm heading 13, for takeoff, United 2354.
And we've just heard from that tower controller that there may have been a possible collision alert. I'm not sure where that was, whether that was in the air or on the ground, but nothing seemed to be occurring on the ground, so I'm guessing it's possibly something in the air. That's likely something that will be inspected. But a United 777 just rotating here, southeasterly facing runway, departing to Rockford. Following the company 78, which is just over there, just climbing up and away from Haneda.
Departure now. Good day.
Hey,
say contact departure for Tokyo 54. 6354 right 160 departure. Good day. Right 160 and over to departure, guys. So 54 happy on.
And what seems to be the third United aircraft. Not sure if it is a United, but I mean it looks like one.
Remember how you said that you'd get off in 2 hours?
Why lie to you, sir? So what? I got nothing else for you, so what? You can wait.
Embraer E190 United, just
Wait, what do you mean?
taxiing to runway 13. I'm guessing this will probably be the last departure now off of this runway. This is also en route to Rockford. So 3 United aircraft, the first being a Boeing 787, the second being a Boeing 777, and then this third aircraft being a United Embraer E190. Now, this is an aircraft that we've not seen on this route before, very new. The 78 was a new aircraft on this route, but this E190 is yet again a new aircraft also.
Tokyo Tower, maintenance 60.
Air Shuttle 6019, near Tower, runway 13, clear for takeoff, no delay.
Clear for takeoff, no delay, runway 13, Air Shuttle 6019.
It is the United Air Shuttle departing.
I get Air Shuttle in real life, sometimes here in Charlotte, it's pretty cool. I've seen them in
Quite a speedy
I used to
takeoff.
handle Mesa flights. Getting the pilot releases was fun.
Oh wow, yeah, that's cool, man.
Quite a speedy takeoff from that air shuttle. United Embraer E190 off to Rockford, which is giving way for
Air Shuttle 619, turn left heading 100 to
giving way for 2 inbound aircraft that we've got. Delta Airbus A330 and then an Air Canada Boeing 777. Got a SEER challenge going on in frequency as well. Love that. So yeah, 2 aircraft that we've got arriving from, well, one arriving from Rockford, the other arriving from Perth, and then we've actually got a third aircraft that's arriving from Perth as well. So 1 Delta Airbus A330, 1 Air Canada Boeing 777, and 1 Bombardier CRJ 700. So I'm assuming that the CRJ is inbound for runway 20 here at Tokyo. I think you should just be able to make it out somewhere around there before it makes its turn in for the approach, and then that's being followed by an Air Canada Boeing 777 that's also inbound. Whereas the Delta Airbus A330 seems to be coming towards runway 13 here. So 2 aircraft being set up for 20, 1 aircraft being set up for 13. The Delta aircraft being set up for 13, possibly a Kaitak, we shall see.
Number 44440 on final for runway 20.
Remember 440, heading to the tower, winds 015 at 3, runway 20, call in.
Clear for landing at runway 20, November 44440.
Number 440, if you encounter wind shear, let me know. And what type of wind shear? Like a nothing or I don't know. I don't know, like your nose gets knocked down or whatever. I don't know. Attention our aircraft. Controller change in process. New controller now in effect. New controller now. Tokyo's power now going off. And have a good day, everyone.
There's the
Bye.
shift controller just switching now. It's the new hour. Well, I'm guessing they've got different shifts, so the new controller now coming online after the old controller. And here we've got a Bombardier CRJ 700 landing on runway 20 after coming in from Perth. With a nice smooth touchdown. And not too far behind is an Air Canada Boeing 777 that's just turning final for runway 20 here. We've got one Delta A330 inbound and an Emirates Boeing 777 Sky Cargo that's also inbound. So we've got a few arrivals, and so after these it's likely that we'll pop off, call it a day, and it's likely that we may be on tomorrow. And if not, then most definitely the following day. So we're meant to have
Visual
a Delta A330 that's coming in now.
Winds are 309 degrees at 1 knot, close to land on 113. Clear land for Delta.
November 444428, reporting taxi wind with possible gate.
November 44440. Taxi to stand 3. Taxi to stand 3 via Echo Alpha.
Echo Alpha and 3, November 4448.
Delta 5 request taxi to let's see, stand 8. Delta 5 taxi to gate 8 via Alpha 7 November Alpha. Taxi to gate 8 via Alpha 7 November Alpha.
Air Canadian 7059, final approach for runway 20.
Air Canadian 7059, winds 309 degrees, that's 1 knot, close to land runway 20.
Thank you.
And Canada 777 just coming in from Rockford. Gears now deployed. On their final approach for 20.
going forward towards 0, so do not 340 still.
With a textbook landing by the Air Canada 777, perfect. Absolutely brilliant landing.
Delta 5, there's a Speedbird A320 at gate 8, request gate 9.
That's speed. Okay, that's 5, you can get gate 9 from wow.
Roger.
And CRJ just taxiing onto stand with the Delta taxiing onto stand as well.
Air Canadian 7059 holding short, Delta 1 requesting taxi to gate 1.
Yeah, Canadian 7059, taxi to gate 1 by Charlie, by Delta 1, correction. Delta 1, Charlie 1, Charlie, Echo, Alpha.
Taxiing Delta 1, Charlie 1, Charlie Echo. Alpha.
And the British Airways 320 that's on stand here seems to be directly in between two heavies, one Delta 330 and one Air Canada 330 also.
Are you ready to copy IFR? Okay, yeah, your readability is about 1 or 2 by 5. I can't, you're very quiet.
What am I?
I lost your mic, please.
Oh,
Air Canadian 7059. What is max taxiing speed?
25 knots.
And just got some word that Scandinavian, an airline that's based at Grindavik, they're commencing their inaugural here to Tokyo. That's operated by an Airbus A350, so
A little bit though.
that inbound, just tracking it at the moment, it seems that it's top 10 tracked actually, so it's still on stand at Grindavik. And it seems to be getting ready for its departure here, and that's the Scandinavian Airbus A350 on its inaugural flight to Tokyo,
Alright, 8633 requesting visual approach.
where it's likely that they'll be performing a layover before then departing the next day, it seems.
Roger that, 8633.
And Emirates Boeing 777 Sky Cargo inbound for the Kaitac approach on runway 13.
Go ahead. Okay, have you been given an IFR clearance?
Just making their spot adjustments before their final turn to their 1-3.
As filed, expect only 1-3 for departure. Initial climb 2,000 feet and then 6,000 feet 5 minutes after departure.
Just making that final turn now.
I'll be right back.
Emirates 777 Sky Cargo inbound.
Air Canada 4007. Located Perth as filed. Expect only 1-3 for departure. Initial climb at level 020 and then 060 5 minutes after departure. Squawk 3535.
What?
With a lovely landing from the 777 Sky Cargo.
Air Canadian 7059 requesting IFR clearance to ITKO.
That's just come in from Rockford.
By radar vectors, expect only 1-3 for departure
climb flight level 020, then actually no initial climb. Expect flight level 030, squawk 6333.
Could you please repeat squawk?
Squawk 6333.
Air Canadian 7059 cleared to IPPH via runway 13, climb flight level 030, squawk 6333. Ready for pushback and start.
Echo 7059, readback is correct. You're clear for push to slot tail to the left.
Delta left, Air Canada 7059.
Majestic 63 to tower, thank you for handing me off. Holding Bravo 7 over, contacting ground.
Just more news from that Scandinavian A350 that's inbound. They seem to be
Taxi 2, any cargo
quite close, about an hour, just cruising above the southeast of Asia, likely to commence their descent shortly into Tokyo. And that's the Scandinavian A350 coming from Grindavik in Iceland, operated by Scandinavian.
Bravo 7, Bravo, Alpha 3.
Okay. No, Bravo 7, Bravo, Alpha 3, Alpha.
Bravo 7, Bravo, Alpha 3, Alpha 2, scanned, TC323.
Air Canadian 705, requesting taxi to runway 13.
Air Canada 7059, taxi to runway 13 via Alpha 13, hold short Bravo 13.
Hold short Bravo 13, Air Canadian 7059.
And I'm gonna go and take center because no one's on it, so everyone can just move to center.
And Air Canada Boeing 777 that's taxiing out to Tokyo. Sorry, taxiing out to Perth. As the Emirates Boeing 777 Sky Cargo taxis in from Rockford. A perfect representation of the efficient taxiways in operation. With the first being taxiway Alpha, which the Air Canada Boeing 777's on now. And the second taxiway being taxiway Bravo, which is the taxiway that the Emirates 777 Sky Cargo is taxiing on now. And it's a one-way operation procedure here at Tokyo, so Alpha's used for aircraft taxiing out, and then Bravo is used for aircraft taxiing in. Yet again, it just reinstates the high level of efficiency that they've got here at Tokyo Haneda. And it seems that the tower frequency has stopped offline, so it seems that we are left without audio as the centre position is quite a tricky frequency to access, which is understood as a lot goes on there. But Canada Boeing 777 just taxiing to runway 13 here at Haneda, with the 777 Sky Cargo that we saw on the Kaitak just taxiing on to stand at the cargo terminal now. Could you see the tail of the 777? Full thrust applied, and off it rolled down the wet runway here at Tokyo, southeasterly runway, departing on its way to Rockford. That Scandinavian has just reached its top of descent actually, so we can expect that to be arriving quite shortly actually. How's traffic been? It's been on and off. It's been pretty consistent though. After the server restart, we've had a good flow of traffic coming in. Yeah, and departing actually. So it's been pretty steady. How's the traffic been at Rockford?
G'day Tower, Rockford ground, Tokyo ground is active.
We can just hear Tokyo grounds auto now come online. Mid. Yeah, it seemed quite quiet there over in Rockford. So the Scandinavian 350 commencing its descent should be with us in the next 20 to 25 minutes. And that rain has now cleared up with the sunny skies now in here in Tokyo, and there's the control tower. Very nice control tower actually, very nicely made, offering 360-degree panoramic views around the airfield.
Hey Eli, are you OBS or are you an aircraft? Oh, you're joining? Oh, streaming. Well, we have a Tokyo ground on right now. If you want to go join him.
just one arrival into Tokyo, the last one that will manage to get the inaugural Scandinavian Airbus A350 inbound from Grindavik, just making their final contact with Tokyo approach before they then come in, hopefully, for the Kaitak approach on runway 13. And you can see a Bombardier CRJ 700 just in the background, getting ready for its departure to Rockford, currently in the plane livery, so possibly a charter aircraft, or an aircraft that's being leased. And we are meant to have Air Force One inbound as well, so there it is, escorted by two of the fighter jets that obviously escort Air Force One, so that's the Japanese Air Force escorting Air Force One there. And that's President Trump inbound for a meeting with the first female Prime Minister of Japan. As the Bombardier CRJ 700 taxis down Alpha, possibly for a full-length departure here on runway 13, as they get ready for their departure to Rockford. And it seems that with a change of the ATIS, that Learjet has turned around and they are now taxiing for a departure on runway 31. So now departing runway 31 and 20 and arriving runway 31 and 20. And so with that, I think that we will move over to the next position, where we'll end off our stream there, where we'll see the arrival of the Scandinavian Airbus A350 on their inaugural from Grindavik, and the arrival of Air Force One. And we've set up for the final position here that we'll be streaming at Tokyo. The Bombardier CRJ700 just having departed runway 31 with the new ATIS switch. Air Canada A330 just taxiing, getting ready for taxi there. And we await the arrival of the Scandinavian inaugural A350 and the Air Force One aircraft that is just on final approach here. We'll be hopping off after the Scandinavian A350 has landed, so we'll see this aircraft landing here, Air Force One, and we can see the breakaway of both the fighter jets as Air Force One carrying President Donald Trump arrives on runway 31 for a meeting with the President of Japan.
November 1415, actually contact us if you want to, that's not great.
And a lovely arrival from the Boeing 747 Air Force One from Greater Rockford. Arriving into Tokyo, carrying President Donald J. Trump for a meeting with the President of Japan. We can see an A330 operated by Air Canada just taxiing towards runway 31 for a full-length departure. And that Scandinavian, the 350, the inaugural aircraft, is just getting ready for its final approach into runway 31 at Tokyo.
One, go ahead and contact Tokyo Ground.
And there they are. The Scandinavian A350 coming from Grindavik. The inaugural route operated by an Airbus A350. The perfect aircraft for this route. Efficient, quick, with a lot of seats for passengers that would like to see the wonders of a wonderful island like this, and you can just see their gears being deployed now. Just on their base leg for runway 31 here is the Scandinavian A350 inaugural flight from Grindavik to Tokyo Haneda. The A330 taxiing here. Not sure who will get out first, if this 330 will have to wait for the A350 or if the A330 will manage to get out in time. It seems like the Scandinavian may land before, however. Should hear them on frequency very shortly as they make their final turn. Yes, this is the final one, as they make their final turn for runway 31 here at Haneda.
Tower, good evening. Scandinavian 5 kilo heavy is visual 31.
Last station calling, repeat call sign.
Scandinavian 5 kilo heavy.
And there they are, there's the initial contact of the Scandinavian Airbus A350.
Contact established. Clear to land runway at tree 1. Winds are 035 at 07 knots.
So there we are, Scandinavian 53 kilo inbound from Grindavik on their inaugural route to Tokyo Haneda, operated by an Airbus A350-900. As the Air Canada Airbus A330 seems to be seems to be getting out before the 350 there. And they now seem to be reversing very rapidly, applying full reverse thrust in order to get off the runway to give way for the Scandinavian A350 that is indeed on a short final for runway 31. Possibly an infringement there, which needs to be investigated surely by the authorities, as it would be interesting to see what actually went wrong there. But a Scandinavian Airbus A350 on final approach for 3-1, operated under the call sign of Scandinavian 53 kilo, inaugural route from Grindavik to Tokyo Haneda.
Last station calling, readability 1/1. Your microphone is not readable because of your microphone volume.
Canadian 53 kilo, is that aircraft over the land?
Air Canada 4
And there's the Scandinavian asking if the aircraft is over the line, which they are indeed, so it's a matter of do they declare a go around or do they continue to land.
He's over the line.
Air Canada 4007, back up a little bit.
They continue
1,
to land.
2, your mic readability, Air Canada 4007, is 1/5 because of your microphone quality. It sounds like you're just talking into a microwave essentially. I cannot hear you. Or it sounds like you're talking to somebody like through about 5 pounds of like sound muffling material.
And a firm but smooth landing into Japanese soil to mark the first time that a Scandinavian Airlines aircraft has ever landed into Japan.
Microphone is very quiet.
Oh my
And a warm welcome to Japan, Scandinavian 53 kilo.
Can you hear me?
It's like barely better.
Barely better?
Just a taxi to vacate off of runway 31 here at that intersection, which seems to be Bravo 10.
4007, readability on mic is like 255, but I can barely make out what you're saying. Go ahead and line up runway tree 1.
They can just see the pilots in the flight deck there.
And Scandinavian 5 tree kilo heavy, go ahead and contact ground.
Ground, Scandinavian 53 kilo, have a good day.
For the first time, a Scandinavian Airlines Airbus A350 landing into Tokyo Haneda.
And Air Canada 4007, cleared takeoff.
Just vacated off the runway.
Winds are 040 at 1 knot. Canada 4007, wind at 500 feet, contact center.
And we'll just watch them get onto stand and then we'll close for the evening. It's the Scandinavian, sorry, the Canada 330 departs in the background.
Speedbird 264 after the Air Canada clears runway, clear to take off, runway, actually, disregard that, clear to take off, runway tree 1, winds are 040 at 1 knot, no factor.
Clear to take off runway 21, winds acknowledge, speedbird is
They seem to be taxiing onto a remote stand here at Tokyo Haneda. They seem to be using the cargo terminal, possibly as an inaugural flight. They'll be celebrating, and so therefore they need more space. But a Scandinavian A350 arriving on stand. Excuse me, that's not the cargo apron. The cargo apron is there, however, just arriving straight onto stand as they park. And there is the arrival. The inaugural flight operated by SAS Scandinavian. The call sign Scandinavian 53 Kilo. After a long flight from Grindavik, they've touched down into Tokyo Haneda, where it's now quite quiet. They seem as if they are the only aircraft on the ground, except for Air Force One, who seems to be taxiing to the cargo stand, where Donald Trump will then be getting off, inevitably with an escort. With his motorcade. But Scandinavian, a very warm welcome to Tokyo Haneda. And as the Scandinavian arrives on stand, we'll be ending our stream for the night. But the Scandinavian will depart tomorrow for their route back to Grindavik, where the crew will then enjoy a day in Tokyo, a day in Japan, where I'm sure they'll be intrigued by all of the things that Japan has to offer. I hope you've all enjoyed the stream today. It's been quite a nice one. Been, I think it's the longest one we've had, just coming up to 2.5 hours now. But I hope you're all having a nice evening, and I will catch you all hopefully tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, then the following day. Have a nice